I mean, you probably like the ones on this shelf, The Habit, or what is
Oh,
it?
that's a good
The
book.
Power of
Habit or The
Habit,
Hobbit?
The
Yeah,
Happiness
really. Big
Project.
difference.
Have you watched any
So,
Lord of the Rings stuff, Greg? It's like really long.
The new episodes that they're coming out with.
Yeah.
Uh,
I didn't get into season 2 yet.
what'd you think of season one?
I think it takes a long time to make a ring.
Is that what it all? It's a.
They banged out a ring in 3 hours in the originals. Hey, welcome to our fourth episode of our Yac-ity podcast. So we always ask the same question because we're assuming people are still starting to watch this. So we're going to start with Greg this week. What's the purpose of this, Greg?
Well, I think it's. I'll just go. I'll just say what I think. It's just to kind of catch up with people where they're at in life, because a lot of us haven't kept in touch. We kind of hear through word of mouth like what's going on with people. It's good to catch up. It's good to see your all faces. That's it in a nutshell for me.
Okay. Hey, Matt, would you add anything to that?
Let's see. No, that's pretty much it. It's an excuse to get together and have laughs and remember things that we could get away with in the '90s, but not today. And
Yeah, there's that.
and then how much facial hair I can grow in between the episodes.
Impressive.
We're growing a lot of hair since I see you every 2 weeks. So yeah, it really adds up. So okay, so what we do next is we have you introduce yourself and what year you graduated from high school, and then just kind of give us a quick thumbnail like after that about life. So
Did you work on a farm?
did any of
Yes.
you work on a farm
Yes.
after school?
I did actually. I'm Jeanine. I'll just start. I'm Jeanine. Graduated in '99, and one of my summer jobs was chopping shatter cane.
Oh.
Lots of people did this. I mean, it was
This has
chopping
come up.
shatter.
This came
But
up
we
in the
actually
last
didn't.
episode.
It was for Elwin Harder, and he had you
Ah.
just like break the head of the shatter cane and spray Roundup on it.
So,
And
Elwin
that's
sounds a
how
lot
I
easier
got cancer.
than what Daniel and James
Yeah,
had
they're
to do.
talking about machetes in the other
Oh yeah,
episode.
it was not that physical. Mm-mm.
So that's pretty much what you've done since high school, since 1990.
Shatter cane.
How's the money in that?
You graduated from Marine
Yep.
and you got shatter
That's
cane.
what I've been doing. It's so good.
it's the American dream, really.
Yeah.
A lot of money
You're
in
so
shatter
lucky.
cane.
Yeah. No, then went to Moody, got a degree in Bible theology, and then got another degree in graphic design. Met my husband, we got married, and started having kids, and so now I'm a stay-at-home mom of two little girls.
You want a job
There's
editing podcasts?
Nope. I don't think that. I don't think I'd be good at that.
Next.
Well, you want to go, Jill, or you want me to go?
Sure, I'll go.
Okay.
I'm Jill. Utecht used to be Jill Graber. What are we supposed to say? What we've been doing?
After high school.
Okay, yes, graduated in '99 with Jeanine and Meredith. Went to Moody Bible Institute, studied Bible and theology.
Did we lose
Then
Kevin?
did we just lose Kevin?
Yep.
Oh, there he
Kevin.
is. He's on the opposite side.
Where
He was
did you go?
offended and left somehow. Yes, there it is.
That's it.
Met my husband there. We got married. Had 3 girls, and then once my girls were all in school, I went back to school. Got my master's in Christian thought, and then now I teach middle and high school Bible at a Christian school.
Cool.
I'm Meredith. I graduated in 1999 as well. After high school, I don't know. I've done a lot of things since high school. I went to John Brown University for college. Worked at a lot of camps during the summer. After I graduated college, I went to California and I worked at Camping Conference and I did like outdoor science education and ropes course. And the next year, I worked in Arkansas as a language arts teacher. The next year, I was in Pennsylvania at a camp and conference, and I did like camp programming and worked with youth ministry. And then, after telling my dad I would never come back to Wichita, he could just forget about it, I then, a few months later, came back to Wichita and took a job as a teacher. And I was there at that school for 10 years. And then somewhere in there, I met Troy, my husband, with climbing and stuff. And then we became friends.
Like on a mountain.
And fast forward that story, we started dating and got married. I started grad school for counseling. We had our first son, I think, after I started my counseling job, and then twins. So I have 3 kids, and I'm a school counselor now. So yeah,
Oh,
I've been
cool.
doing that for about 8 years. This is my 8th year.
So
And
now
all of your
when you-
parents still live
Go
in the Harvey County area, so you guys still see each other periodically?
It's been a while. What?
It's been a while.
I think I saw Jill maybe before Sam and Helen were born, or was it?
No. Oh no, it's been no. I think all 3 of us got together even since you've had the twins
Okay, maybe so.
at a coffee shop in Wichita. But maybe that
Yeah.
was 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh my
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a while.
so
It's still, I mean, I
Helen
usually am
Sam
not
Miller's
there
5,
when they're around.
so
I was gonna say right
Yeah.
before the pandemic, or because it's been 4
Oh,
years.
yeah. Actually,
It
I
would've
think
been
it was
before.
right. I actually think it was right. I think I saw Meredith right after.
yes, I think that's about
But
right.
Jeanine and I are rarely in town at the same time.
I think I saw Jeanine last time. It's been a while. Like we got together, I think at Botanica or something. So
Well, at
We
least
need
you
to do it again.
have places, Botanica and coffee shops. At least you're not like in a parking lot at an old Kmart or something.
Yeah.
No. We're
doing-
more classy than that, Kevin.
Or shatter cane. Like
Yeah.
get together.
met in the
Meet
field.
me at the farm.
Cutting shatter cake.
So Meredith, when you say that you met your husband climbing, were you like climbing a mountain and there he was, or was it like a
No.
common interest?
A common interest. So he
Oh, okay.
was. We were at the Cliff Club, and that's when I met him. I had 3 different interactions with him. The first 2 were incredibly awkward, and the last one was the one that I think was like, oh, he's kind of an interesting guy.
Cool.
So
I forgot that part of the story. So
yeah, Kevin actually married us. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the last time I saw all 3 of you was at Meredith's wedding.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that
I
was
forgot about that.
That's
Kevin,
cool.
you're the
That's
one
where
who
he
did
was there,
that.
too.
That's awesome.
and I didn't
Yeah.
have the wicked dance like Janine's husband at that wedding. so, there was dancing though, wasn't there?
yeah,
Yes.
sure.
So
Cool.
I don't think I participated. So
That's because you're a good Mennonite. You don't do the dance.
Is that a
do that one
Mennonite
where it
thing
goes to the
too?
left, to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. If they do
Oh
that,
yeah. The
Oh.
Cupid Shuffle.
The slide, or
oh, keep it shuffle.
Cupid
Charlie
Shuffle.
Brown?
Yeah, I do that one. That's my one thing I do. I always do that one dance. That's it.
Yeah.
And if they have the dance to see who the oldest couple are in Maryland, we won that one time. So
Nice.
I
I
thought
live
that
in
was
Wisconsin now, and everyone here does the polka. Like that's the big
Ooh.
deal here.
Speaking of polka, Weird Al Yankovic just announced his new tour.
I saw
Oh.
that.
Nice.
I already have tickets for the whole family.
Like seriously, you do?
Serious? No, yes.
Yeah.
So like,
I love it. I love
I
it.
got so before we had kids, he came to the Oregon State Fair, and I actually got Tammy to go, my wife, and I've introduced my kids to him, and I'm like, man, I wish he would tour. Lately, I was like, I wish he would tour again because now they're old enough to go and enjoy it and have a fun time. I've figured out I've already seen him 4 times in concert, and this will be my 5th. So
Oh my God.
it's always
Wow.
it's
You're-
always a
Think
really
about
great
this.
show.
when I was in college, Weird Al Yankovic got started.
Yeah.
Like if you were going to pick somebody's career to have longevity, would it be Weird Al Yankovic? I mean,
Do
think
you know
about
what it?
all the people you grew up with as musicians that you love.
I think no.
How many of them are bigger stars than Weird Al Yankovic at this point in their career?
Do you know what his
pure
degree was in?
tenacity
though?
and persistence.
So
Like
couple.
Will Smith, you thought he would outlast Weird Al, but he
Oh.
didn't.
What was the movie he was in? He was in some movie, and it's pretty funny. It's like a radio
UHF.
station.
Well, there was UHF,
Yes, UHF,
but
yes.
recently he came out with his kind of humorous biopic called Weird. It's on the Roku channel.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. It's basically like a parody of his life growing up, but with little spurts of little truths. I don't know why
I've
when I
seen that, yeah.
first heard he was coming out with a biopic,
Your husband has Star Wars figures.
I've seen it all. IT crowd.
nice. Another IT crowd.
All the
person.
Marvels.
Nothing wrong with it.
That's cool.
Okay, so our next question is like your memories of Yak, both good and bad, like memories of youth group. So,
Yeah.
Well, stuff you want people to actually hear.
Well,
'Cause
we did make an agreement before. There's some things we're not mentioning.
okay.
Oh, well, that piques my interest that much more.
No.
That's the stuff
Oh.
I want to know.
I mean, that wasn't. I don't include
That
that
wasn't
in
youth
youth group. That was
No, that
wasn't
youth
extra.
Yeah, that
Like-
was extra.
You
Yeah, I
drove
think-
around Quail Creek hitting mailboxes, something like that.
I grew up in Quail Creek.
I
Did you
know.
that?
Yeah,
Oh.
I remember you guys lived in Quail Creek.
Yep.
I was like, I was trying to think, what's that neighborhood's name?
Yep.
I was like,
that's
oh,
it.
Quail Creek. Do you guys just? Sorry, random question. How far has Newton moved towards Wichita now? Do we know?
Oh, not far.
Not much.
No,
Not
my
much.
parents live in the subdivision just south of where Greg's parents live, Autumn Glen, and I
Okay.
think that's kind of the edge. So
I
it's
think
like
there's
Quail
maybe
Creek, and
apartment
then
It hasn't like built up massively in that
No.
direction.
no.
Oh, okay. Because I
Well,
live.
Meredith, your parents live in the same
Yeah, they're pretty close. Like,
subdivision as mine. Yeah,
yeah.
as my parents. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That space between Walmart and Grace Community is now full,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
That's true.
my
Yeah.
but it
yeah.
hasn't grown very far south, that much farther south. So, or north
Okay.
even.
That mini mall never made it. Really.
No.
Uh-uh.
that mini mall where Johnny Cash sang was
So much
like
promise.
a mile from where we lived growing
I
up.
know. I feel bad I didn't go hear Johnny Cash. That was like at the low point of his career, and he was kind of a joke. And like I was watching a documentary, and they kind of talked about the low point of his career, and he couldn't get gigs, and like
Oh.
Mini Mall was in. Like, what's kind of like
Newton,
Newton,
Kansas.
Kansas.
point was Newton in the Mini Mall.
I wasn't a fan of him yet. Otherwise, I would have gone probably.
No, I think he's awesome, and I remember as a kid, I
Yeah,
thought he was
same.
awesome, but he went through kind of a, I don't know, kind of a weird stage in his career. So, okay, go back to memories of Yak. What do you
Sorry,
got?
yeah. Tangent.
Oh.
That was a good tangent, though. So,
I was thinking like I think about like the open gym nights we had, and then like we had that those dart things.
oh
we
yeah,
were playing those games with.
So,
Yeah, I
remember the Kentucky missions trip,
oh that was.
oh yeah, that was good.
and those cabins. The bathrooms were underneath the cabins,
what?
and
Yeah.
it was the scariest
Right.
thing. They were like
Yes,
concrete walls. It was like worse than it was like a crawl space.
spiders this
With, like,
big.
spider webs, and you had to like shower in there.
So was it like it puts the lotion on its skin type of pit?
What?
Uh,
Nobody's
I don't
seen
follow that,
Silence,
Matt. What?
Silence
No.
of the Lambs? Nobody?
Oh,
oh, yes.
It puts the lotion on its
Maybe,
skin or it
yeah.
gets the hose again.
Yeah, and Kentucky was really humid, and so you'd go in and you'd shower, you'd dry off, and then you were like wet again. It's like why are we even bothering?
That's like Kansas, though.
That was worse.
It was worse.
was
That was worse?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
surprisingly worse.
and I think this is maybe why Kevin didn't shower. Kevin, I remember you just brought this huge thing of baby powder, and you
This
would
seems
just
to be a-
douse yourself in
Pancakes.
This is a running theme.
It's so funny how the same stories pop up. Over.
It was pancakes.
We
Listen,
talked
that
about
sticks with a young developing mind.
I showered too, but it was just so wet. It just like takes all
Yeah.
the cool stuff off.
Very wet.
So,
I think
So
we
funny.
also had one of the vans broke down on that trip in
Oh.
like somewhere in Tennessee.
There was a Colorado one too, where I think our van broke down.
That was my parents' van on the way to Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that too.
you were a little frustrated with your old van there, Jill, at that point. So,
Yeah.
is that the trip where your dad tried to push you to do all kinds of stuff?
Yeah.
What?
And then I ran into a tree skiing.
Uh-huh.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
It wasn't great. It's fine. I'm over it.
Oh
How
wow.
did you run into a tree?
You know,
Skiing.
I ended up on these moguls,
Oh,
even though I shouldn't have been, because I had never skied. This was my first time ever skiing. And somehow I took, is it moguls? Is that right? The
Yeah.
black
Moguls, yes.
something?
Those
Yeah.
bumps,
And I was like, oh, yes, we were doing this. And I'm like, I've
and
never
you're
skied
supposed to
before
go
in my
through
life.
them.
And then the next thing I knew, I was hugging a tree. So it was great.
Oh man.
But I think my dad was pushing me to do stuff too. I don't know, whatever. You gotta love him. Gotta love him. I
Wow.
remember, this is a really weird memory, but Kevin, you would always take us out, right? You'd come to our things, take us out
Mhm.
places, which I loved.
Mhm.
And one time I think it was the three of us and Ellen with you. And we were riding in your car, and I distinctly remember we were on Old 81. I think maybe headed back to my parents' house or something. And we were all worried about getting fat when we got older. We were like, we don't want to be fat, blah, blah, blah. And you said, look at your ankles. And we were like, okay. And you said, if you have fat ankles now, you'll be fat when you're older.
Oh,
and if you
wow.
have fat ankles, and we're like, I don't know. Are my
You're a
ankles
terrible
fat
person.
or not? Ever since then, I've been really like paranoid about my ankles. No,
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know why that sticks out to me.
I don't know.
We
I don't
also-
know why I thought that was consoling. I don't know. It's trying to be helpful. I don't know.
Do you remember that though?
I remember. Yes, I remember saying dumb things like that.
Yes.
that I remember. A lot of these episodes, I say things like "I'm sorry" quite a bit. I'm really sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. I love
That's
every
a
bit
bizarre
of
thing to
what
say.
we did. We
Do you
also, oh, sorry. On that same, let me just finish this one because it was on that same trip that we were worried. We were actually also bemoaning the fact that we didn't have boyfriends yet because none of us were dating anybody. And you told us it was because we were wife material. You said
Remember
high
that?
school boys don't want to date wife material. So you were like, don't worry, you'll all be fine. You'll get husbands. You're just not going to have high school boyfriends.
And you
Was
were
that
right.
comforting or not? I don't know.
I think maybe a little. I went home not sure if I should be comforted or not, but it was great. Yeah,
But it came to
Yeah.
pass.
it came to
Seems
pass.
to
Yeah,
pass. You seem all happily married at this point.
yeah,
right.
yeah.
It worked out. So
I was thinking of a memory that I had actually with Matt when we
Oh,
went
no.
on it was like a mission trip or something, and we had some kind of radio between the vans, and he was
Oh,
like was he Dr. Love or something like that? And people
what?
would call in, they'd be like, what should I do? And it was so funny. We just like laughed and
I
laughed
don't
and
remember
laughed.
that. That's
That's
hilarious.
we used to have
It sound-
CDs because we didn't have cell
Yep.
phones. back
I
then.
think so,
Yeah.
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 It sounds like
You
something I
remember-
would do. Because wasn't I a sponsor
Yes, I think so.
when you guys were like
Yeah.
freshmen?
Mhm,
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
mhm.
That's great.
And now it's useless dating advice from Kevin.
Couple words of wisdom about dating. First word of wisdom: boys can be kind of dumb. Second word of wisdom: most camp relationships don't work out.
This has been useless dating advice from Kevin.
I had a lot of like broad strokes of like I remember the games we played, but not a lot of specific ones except for there was one fall party. I think we were doing like a hayrack ride and wiener roast, and Kevin brought boxing gloves, and I think I remember this because I was super embarrassed and I felt really bad afterwards. But I was boxing this girl. She hadn't been coming for very long, but
Oh,
she hit
no.
me in the face, and it like triggered something in me, and I just like pummeled her. and she backed up into a wall and like hit her head. And I don't remember her coming after that to youth group.
That's the
So
weirdest
we've-
fall party. What
So
Yeah.
we've gotten to
I wanna
the portion of
clarify,
the
I did not
show.
bring
Sorry.
boxing gloves. Evan LaRue like boxing gloves.
Okay.
May
I
I would,
clarify.
Yeah, that sounds more.
He said, "Can we try this?" I was like, I don't know. I never really, I didn't cover this in seminary.
Speaking of things that we got away with in the 90s. that we
Exactly.
can't now. Like that's
this is
one
the
of them.
time in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fight club and
You
youth
used to
group.
bring boxing gloves.
Yeah.
I think we quit after that, Jeanine. I
I'm
don't think
pretty
we ever
sure.
did
Yeah.
that ever
Sorry,
again.
everybody.
That's
Do
funny.
you still do that?
I think about it a lot.
I think that was a one-time activity.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh,
I
man.
remember when you would take us to the bread basket. Has anybody brought this up yet?
Uh-oh.
Only let us get the smallest plate, and then you taught us how to put pancake extensions around the side to extend the plate. You were like, get the mini because it's the cheapest, and then put the pancakes around, and now you have a large plate with the pancake extension.
That's genius.
They don't
Yeah.
serve
That's
plates
really
like
smart.
that anymore now, but that's how they used to do it.
Yeah.
I do miss the German buffet.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh yeah.
They don't have that anymore?
No,
I
have it
think
on
they
Friday,
still
Saturday night,
do. Yeah.
Okay.
but they
but
don't have it
I
in
don't-
Portland.
No, I don't. I should look for one.
So next time you're home, Friday and Saturday. Next time maybe you're home, call me and we'll try to go. So they don't
I'll
stack.
have to. I'll have to drive down from Gardner visiting my parents just for Renica.
You guys were in a really big class in the youth group. I mean, I don't know how many, maybe 10 or 12 people. They were very active in the
Or
youth
more. Yeah.
and then you would bring friends. So you guys were like this really big group of kids at one
Yeah.
time.
Now
So it was
Jill
really
and
cool.
Jill
Yeah,
and
we had a lot of
Jeanine
people come.
went to Brian. Meredith, did you go to Brian or NHS?
Same as Jill and Jeanine. So yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
but I was trying to think who went to NHS that I'm thinking of.
Beth
Beth
Jance
that's
at the
Beth
time.
Jance went
And
to
in the mix. Yeah.
Yeah, and the mix.
Aaron
And then Des lived in
and Amanda.
Natty Mulgren,
Texas, but she would come.
Yeah.
his
Natty.
brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach was in my class. Zach Mulgren.
Yep.
And then Josh was, I think, just below us.
Yeah.
I was gonna just ask a question like, what was that like being with the same people like 6 out of 7 days a week?
Fun.
I loved it because I loved them. Like,
Mhm.
I look back and I think we really were like, we had an amazing group of friends. We really were really very blessed. So
It's cool, very cool.
I
So-
love you, girls.
Well, and there's a few people in your squad that are missing. I mean, I think it's a big
Oh
group.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
you couldn't do a show; it'd be too big a group. Oh, we'd have,
Not. No,
so.
the class
Well,
of '99.
It gives me.
And that our class is actually the one when you switched
Mm-hmm.
jobs. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep, you had Raleigh then for your senior year,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had Raleigh.
and I went on
And
the
that was
with you. So
yes. And I remember at first when you announced, obviously we were all incredibly devastated. But then you were like, guys, this is your time to shine. You take leadership, you rise up, you make this youth group yours. And I feel like we really, I mean, I'm sure we blundered a ton of it, but I feel like
that's how
because you
grow.
spoke that into us, we really did kind of take it and ran with it. And we tried our best anyway to take some leadership of it. So it ended up being a good year.
I think
Even though
Raleigh.
it
Yeah, I
was-
think you guys did fantastic. Raleigh would give me updates.
Raleigh did a great job. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys just
Yeah.
all did fantastic. So yeah. So I mean, it's hard to leave on a great class, but it's also a good time to leave because it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway.
So, did
Thank
you
you.
guys prank anyone? Because, like, that was a thing with the boys. They would try to prank.
Yeah.
Is that the thing we're not talking about?
I don't remember, honestly.
We I thought we toilet papered and forked a few people's house, like Burdine and Michelle's. I remember hitting their
Oh my
house
gosh.
one time.
I don't think I was part of that.
I wasn't either.
It was just you,
I-
Meredith.
Might have been.
Solo mission.
I feel like I participated in a lot of those things, like as far as like ornery stuff. But
We had a smaller group of friends including Ellen and then another gal who went to Berean but didn't come to our church. She went to Emmaus.
okay.
And we, amongst us, did some weird pranks, but that wasn't really a yak thing. That was more of just an us thing.
Did we ever do like flamingo someone's lawn for like a fundraiser type of stuff? Did we do that in the youth group?
That happened to my mom when she turned 40. Somebody did that.
Flamingo to your lawn?
I don't remember. I do remember, Greg, do you remember Jeff getting eggs? I feel like that was our junior or senior year. That somebody...
egg the
maybe
house
you guys
or
need
egg
to have
him?
Jeff...
Yeah.
Both. He
We're only
like
at 4
in-
episodes. We'll get there.
I was involved in several things.
Jeff was up to a lot of hijinks. It's all a blur to
Last
me.
episode, we talked about Jeff getting arrested and Daniel getting arrested, and they bring him into my front room, and I had to plead their case for curfew.
Was Daniel with them? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When they toilet papered the house?
Yeah, and like I just didn't understand why the cop thought it was such a big deal, but he was like really wanted to bust them for curfew and all this stuff. And it was
like, these are good kids.
They're good kids, and like, so I promised I'd talk to their parents, and their parents are like, okay. So the next day, okay. So anyway, the Moore boys, they were with the twins.
Yeah.
They would come to youth group sometimes.
Yeah.
The Moore boys.
Nick and Neil.
Yep. I don't. They were fun. They were pretty ornery. They were pretty fun. So
That's cool.
they would always go to see Jeff by jumping in the window well and knocking on the window.
Well, so that's what I was going to say. Jeff got egged once. He was in the window well for some reason, I think. I don't know. You're going to have to ask him about it. There's something with that window well.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna say,
Like one time I was over there, and all of a sudden there's a knock at the window, and it's the Moore boys, and that's how Jeff would slide the window open, and they'd always come in. That's how they would come to the
it
house.
was like the third door to the house. I do remember that.
Yep.
Jeanine, I got to ask about the barn at your house. Is that still old house? I know your parents have moved to North Newton, but is the barn still standing at your old house? Because like we used to play dodgeball up there, and your mom was always afraid it was going to collapse on us.
I think it is. I haven't been out there in a really long time. I think my sister drove by, and she said she thought it was gone because she couldn't see it. And then as she drove by, it was just leaning so far down, it looked like it had fallen.
Oh,
wow.
Who bought that place from your mom and dad, or do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
Whoever bought it then sold it like a year or two later. So I'm not sure who's there now.
It was a cool old barn, but your mom was always afraid that we would die in it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you ever been in the hayloft playing dodgeball?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's so much dust.
I don't remember like moving back and forth or anything.
I remember coming out, and I think it was because I would hang out with Andy and Evan, and I think did you guys have the go-kart? Because we had a go-kart there, and we were playing with the go-kart, and then Evan jumped the ditch with the go-kart, and I think that's when it stopped working or something like that.
Yeah. It stopped working a lot. One time I was driving it, and the steering wheel came off in my hands.
Oh no!
I hit a hedgerow. There's a lot of stuff like that.
Oh,
Bueno.
wouldn't want to hit the hedge because that's thorns.
Yeah, it didn't feel great.
So my next question, like, where do you live now? I mean, I kind of disappeared for a while, so I missed part of your introduction. For some reason, it kicked me out. But like, you're not Meredith's in Wichita. Sorry, I already kind of said that. But where are the other two of you? Sorry, Meredith.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm in Lawrence, Kansas.
Okay.
We
Jayhawks.
moved here from Kansas City before the pandemic. My husband worked for KU for a little bit, and then, along with everyone else, shifted to working remotely.
So you still go to that church that I met you at in Kansas City with my youth class?
No.
Far away.
Yeah, we go to a church here in Lawrence.
Okay.
But yeah, I miss that church. It's kind of gone through some leadership changes, so it's a lot different than it was. But
you used to go to church with Greg's sister, Christy?
No,
She went to that church too in Kansas City with you.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
So.
Do you miss
the
the barbecue?
What?
Sorry. I was going to ask.
Oklahoma Joe's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kansas City barbecue, Arthur Bryant's, Casey
Stack.
Masterpiece, Jack Stack.
I've been there.
Gates.
That place is good.
Yep.
Yep.
And Jill, where are you at?
I'm in Wisconsin.
Say
Right
that
after
again.
Adam and I.
I was going to say, is that the
Wisconsin.
appropriate pronunciation of Wisconsin?
How else do you say it? Wisconsin. How are you guys
I
saying
like it. Like that's a.
Wisconsin.
I'm from
No,
that part of
that's
the Midwest. That's exactly how you say it. That's
exactly.
not the
Yeah,
typical way
thank you,
Kansans say it.
Kevin.
That's
Thank
exactly
you.
how you say it.
I from Wisconsin. Get out your boat, don't you know? Yeah, my husband grew up here. We lived in Green Bay for about 4 years after we were first married. He was a youth pastor, and then we moved back to Kansas. My husband actually worked on staff at Grace as
Oh,
worship and community life pastor for I don't remember how many years, and then he did Grace's first church plant in Hillsboro, and we were there for 6 years, and then we came back to Wisconsin. We live in Fond du Lac, which is a French name. It means bottom of the lake. So we live at the bottom of Lake Winnebago. So if you've heard of, it's a very large lake here in Wisconsin. So yeah, he's a senior pastor at a church here, and we've been here for 7 years now.
oh wow.
Okay, so like Facebooking stuff.
Yeah.
We're like doing you were doing some speaking gigs for a while.
I was, yeah. After I got my master's, I started doing that. People had started asking because I've been teaching women's Bible study for a super long time, and so I did that for a while. But that really wasn't what I don't like about going and doing speaking gigs. Is like I would fly somewhere, teach, and I love the teaching part, but it's like I don't know these women. I have no relationship with them. Like the discipleship piece is missing for me. I mean, I think the churches were doing that part, but I'm like, I prefer teaching in a classroom where I'm doing life on life with these kids. I know them. I prefer that. So once I got hired to be a Bible teacher, I stopped doing that. I rarely take a speaking gig.
Yeah,
Every
so
once in a
like you
while.
did that for a little while, and then all of a sudden it kind of disappeared. Your mom was
Yeah.
posting about it.
Yeah, it's just not.
He just puts pictures of the grandkids.
That's what she always does. They're cuter, you know. So yeah, it just. I think there's a time and a place for speakers like that, but it's just not doesn't fit my gifting perfectly. I don't think so. I prefer the classroom, really.
So, like, what do you guys do for hobbies? Like, I always think that's a fun question because, like, you can't imagine that people like you see them in high school and they do things pretty much the volleyball or whatever activities they have at school and youth group, and then all of a sudden they kind of get to choose what they want to do. It's kind of you're like, wow, that's cool, but how did you come to? I mean, like Greg's in a band. That's not a surprise, but that's a pretty significant portion of like your weekends. Greg,
Fun, yeah. Love
it's
fun.
like what you love to do.
Yeah.
So.
How often do you play, Greg?
We 5-6 times a year probably ends up being. It's not a lot. It's just a fun weekend thing.
And tell them the style of music. Hey, Troy.
It's kind of like ska influenced, a little bit of punk, more just garage band stuff. It probably falls into the punk genre.
Nice.
Are you online? Like, could we look it up?
No, we're working. We've been working on trying to get an album recorded for a couple years now, and it's collecting dust. We need to record the vocals, so we're getting on that, but it's really slow.
We could have a launch party.
Yeah, we could have a launch party.
Good idea.
His
With all the
song on the
millions
podcast.
of listeners.
We
That's
have
right.
7 subscribers, Joe.
Oh, yeah, see? That's what I'm saying. You're well on your way.
I think I'm one of them.
Wait, we're at the percentages. We've grown 17% this time.
Wait, there's 6 of us here, so 7 subscribers. Let's see.
Millennials don't like to commit.
That's true.
It does make me feel better if I say anything really stupid that I don't have to have lots of people hear it.
As
So
far
you
as
were in a band for a while. What do you do for fun now? I know you got 3 kids and you got twins, so that's kind of a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, typically when I'm at my 100%, I'd say I like to climb, I like to bike, I like to run, I like to camp with my family, read music. I like to do a lot of things. So, yeah.
And Jeanine?
I like to garden. I actually, one of my summer jobs was working for Graber's Nursery.
Oh, cool.
Any reason.
My
And I
neighbor, Andy
just,
Rizzo, was your boss.
yeah.
He's doing great, by the way.
That's awesome. We used to tell those riddles like a bell rings, a guy dies, a bell rings, and
Yeah.
Oh,
have
yeah.
to figure out the riddles. So this year I took the class to become a master gardener, and so I'm volunteering with a bunch of like 70-year-olds gardening. So yeah, and I'll do like odd projects kind of along that line. Like I'm raising worms for composting, and one of my kids wanted an axolotl, so it's like, well, now I have worms to feed the axolotl. And
I don't know what an axolotl is. What is that?
oh, it's a fish with legs.
I need to Google that.
Yeah, it's
It's a weird looking animal.
yeah, they only live in a certain stream in Mexico, and they're
Oh.
about extinct. But they look like they're always smiling. They have like the antenna.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, they eat worms. It's really entertaining to watch them. So
That's cool.
yeah, I've been doing that. I started doing some running. I've run a couple of races. I like crafting with my kids. I got them to get into painting and making books and stuff.
And how many do you have?
I have two.
Okay, so
2 girls.
how old are they?
7 and 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your kids kind of overlap in age. I mean, pretty close.
Meredith and I do, yeah.
Yeah, 7 and 5.
And Jill, you have an older one, like a high school-ish.
College.
I have one in I've got one in college. Yeah,
Oh, cool. No, I mean, obviously you just kind of keep up on Facebook, so
I know.
so-
Yeah, my oldest is in her sophomore year of college, and then I have a high schooler and a middle schooler.
Okay, so your kids are a little ahead of that. So
Yeah.
So well, that's cool. Hey, we're going to be grandparents in March for the first time.
Oh my
Congratulations.
goodness!
Congratulations.
Old or not, but
Nice.
Elliot and his wife are having a child in early March.
Oh.
So
They have
That's so
announced it, right?
Awesome.
Hey.
we only have 7 subscribers. I don't consider that putting on.
Okay.
You never know. You never know what's
So,
going
I'm
to
not
happen with
just-
this
This
episode.
is going to be
People are
our
not going to put it
breakout
on social
episode.
media, but until the baby was born.
So, what are they going to call you? Are you going to be grandma or papa or
I'll
what?
just whatever the kid wants.
Kevin.
I don't care. Grandpa's fine. I don't.
Kevin,
Kevin.
He does.
Pastor.
Papa K.
So Papa Kid. So yeah. So that's a
That's
change
awesome.
for us for sure. We're excited about that. So that's really
That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
And
so
do
we
they
have
live close by?
our two kids are in our 2 boys are in Kansas City. Elliot and Wesley are in Kansas City. And Elizabeth's in Wichita. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
so yeah. So she just got out of law school and she works at a law firm downtown in Wichita. So
Oh.
and she's our traveler kid. I forget how many countries she lived in before she
Wow.
went to law school, but she went to a lot of places in South America. So she actually took me to Peru last summer, which was cool for a week. It was cool to see her just like be able to
That's
move
awesome.
the country so easily, and you're just like, oh my gosh, who is this person who can do this?
Yeah.
It's cool to see that. So, and our kids are somewhere around 30 on either side of 30, so
Wow.
that's hard to believe. So because they kind of are little, and all of a sudden now they're adults. So. Well, next question I have is like it's kind of one question, but you can take either facet. Like, what are you like excited about right now, or what are you particularly proud of right now? Like, what are like just like when people go like this is like really exciting to me, or this is something I'm really proud of that I'm doing. That's kind of our go out question, and then we often do that, and then we all then think of some random thing to talk about after that. So, but like excited, proud of question. So, and it can be something simple, or it can be something big. It doesn't matter. So.
I think mine is simple. I'm really proud of my kids
Mhm.
and how they're growing and developing. It's super fun having older kids and watching their personalities develop and their giftedness develop and watching how they choose to use that for the Lord. And it's like I am loving this phase of parenting. When they were, I mean, obviously I loved my kids when they were little, but I struggled more when they were little with that phase. And this phase is just super fun to me. Getting to have the long conversations and, now with my one in college, it's almost like we're becoming more friends than the parent child role anymore. And I just love it. So I'm really proud of them.
Cool.
Jeanine?
Good question, because like
Yeah.
It's,
That's why we stay until the end.
Yeah. I'm really pleased with like where I'm at in our marriage. I just love being married to Matt and my husband Matt, not
Right. It's amazing to me
for Matt.
how many of you guys married a Matt. Because like
Yeah,
Heather married a
yeah,
Matt, you married a
That's right.
Matt.
yeah. But he keeps life really fun for me. He's also just like really teachable. Um, so he's like willing to change, and he's been so great to be self-sacrificing, and he's given up a lot to love me and our kids. So yeah. I mean I love my kids. I that for me right now, this is the age that I love, where we can do they adore me and we can do fun projects together. So that's been good.
And they have a schedule at that age.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go to bed at like 8 o'clock.
No, no, but it's like you kind of know what the day is going to happen. Like you know what
Yeah.
they're going to do. It's like
Yes.
there's no explosive diarrhea anymore.
Well, if there
You have,
You're not
there
worried if they're
is,
gonna
but
die. You don't have to cut up great.
yeah, it's like at 8 o'clock I get to have like time to do something else. I mean, no,
Yeah.
they have a schedule. It's like it is like really
Yeah.
fun parenting. So
That's the hard thing about older kids. They want to stay up late talking to you, and it's
and then you can't get them
I
out
mean,
of bed.
oh my goodness. My middle child is the extrovert of all extroverts, and she'll come sit on our bed and chat and chat and chat, and we're like, it's midnight, like and then we have to kick her out, and she's all sad, like I don't want to go be alone. I'm like, oh my god, kid. I love her and I'm proud of her, but go to bed.
Marilyn was way better with that than I was. I would just start falling asleep. Marilyn was like
Yeah.
the best parent after 9 o'clock with high school kids. I was not very. I was just like, can't we just talk about this in the morning over breakfast?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they don't want to talk in the morning.
She would
They only
no,
want
but
to
she
talk
would
at
like
night.
do that. Like she would talk till late at night if they wanted to talk. She was just, and I was just kind of. Even today, when the kids want to do that, I get kind of glassy eyed, and she's still just engaged. She's just so much better at that than I am. So
My parents were really, really good at that. My brother and I would go sit on their bed and listen. Like sometimes they would fall asleep, but we would sit there and talk. And I always thought that was a big part of why we had such a great relationship. So to me, I was like, I want to do that with my kids, but it's so much harder than you think.
yeah, yeah. And I would just say my wife is way better at that than I was with the kids,
Yeah.
hands down. So I appreciate that about Marilyn a lot, actually.
Yeah.
That's why we call them our better halves.
So, all right, Meredith, your turn.
Excited about so this is a small thing. I'm excited about I was recently asked to do some music stuff with playing electric again, and it's been years, and I'm pretty excited about picking it up and getting going with that again. And then my proud would be honest. I mean, I know every parent says this, but I feel like
It's okay.
I do feel pretty proud of my kids. Like, my oldest has been writing poems lately, and it's really cute. And he's working on his little poetry book, and he reads us poems from his poetry book. And then, like, my kids have been playing the drum set, like, on their own, like, without any cohesion on my part. And just, like, tonight, my daughter and my son, Helen and Sam, were, like, in the other room dancing and playing piano, and it was really cute. And I feel proud of them. So just that I like to see that they're, like, doing creative things and, like, having fun, and I don't know.
Cool.
What Matt shared about the next concert he's gonna see, which is Weird Al Yankovic. Was that before we taped or after we taped?
No, I think it's. I can pull it up.
Is it in that?
I think we were taping then.
We were taping.
So what's the next concert you guys want to hear? Because I just bought concert tickets tonight. I'll tell you. So who do you want to hear next?
Brandy Carlisle.
Who? Brenda Carlisle?
Brandy Carlisle's going to hear next.
Okay.
Tammy and I just went and saw Stephen Curtis Chapman. He was in our area. It's always a good concert to go see him.
They do The Great Adventure?
Yes.
Okay. So encore, or like was that in the set?
No, it was in his set. So he occasionally does these concerts where it's just him. So he's just up there with his guitar, and like he has his bass drum, and he'll tell stories about childhood and how he got into it. I don't know if you know this, but he's being inducted into the Grand Ole Opry on November 1st.
Oh,
And he's like the first Christian artist to achieve that. And but yeah, we did the meet and greet too with him, so that was fun.
Cool.
Seeing him again.
next concert you want to hear, Jill?
I really love classical music, so I used to make a point every single Christmas to go hear Handel's Messiah, and I have not been able to do that for the past 3 or 4 years, really since COVID. So I just want to start doing that again.
Oh, cool. Jeanine?
That we want to hear or we're planning to hear.
Yeah, I mean, like I want to
Either.
hear Tom Petty, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'd love to go.
I
Because
really want to hear Tom Petty, but I missed that. So you're going to hear. So that's
I think we don't really go to concerts. I've thought about taking my girls to something, but it just hasn't. I don't know. There's a Christian artist I think that's coming to the Lead Center, but again, like my kids' bedtime is at 8, so
Yeah, concerts are hard.
and it's on a Sunday.
Which
so,
artist?
Yeah,
Are the Wiggles? Are the Wiggles?
The
still-
Wiggles? Yeah.
let me see if I can.
We'll go to Greg next.
Oh,
concert.
Josiah Queen, I think
Oh.
is.
I'll have to Google that too.
Yeah.
My daughter just went to one of those, so
Okay.
that's fun.
Greg, what's up for you next?
Concert was, oh man. Sometimes we catch a band called the Mad Caddies.
Oh, I've actually heard of them.
Yeah,
I
they're
have.
really good. They're
I
like,
don't know what they sing, but I
it's ska. Like,
Oh, okay.
so they got a horn section. And
Nice.
sometimes they kind of go in a hard punk direction, and sometimes they're playing the horns and jiving. It's a really fun show, and they're just phenomenal musicians.
Hmm.
Yeah, highly
I-
recommend it.
I like to. We saw the girl named Tom who won The Voice a couple of years ago. We saw him do a Christmas concert, and I like to hear them do Christmas music. And they do a nice mix of like classic Christmas hymns, but then also songs they wrote themselves. And they have a really great song about their father passed away around Christmas, and they sing a song about one more Christmas. And it's just, I mean, it's just really cool. So I just got tickets for that in December in Wichita. So they do they just basically only tour at Christmas anymore, and then I think they do some other stuff, open for some people, but they tour at Christmas, and I think that's kind of their like their vibe is really good at Christmas. So we're going to see them.
Oh,
and I may go hear Weird Al with Wesley, and
that would be cool. So opening for Weird Al is Puddles the Clown. You remember from AGT? He's the clown that looks sad and he sings this operatic stuff. So Puddles
It's
the
been a
Clown.
long time. I had to pull that out of my memory for a long time.
I don't have that one in my memory.
So
I'll have to I'll post a video to the group of Puddles the Clown.
okay. And that fish with legs.
And a fish with
yeah.
legs.
Yeah.
So,
And AI Beth.
concert information about any of the concerts we mentioned. Promoting those as well. So
Cool.
I don't know if we have anything else. Oh yeah, I have to remind people that we are sponsored by Biffwear. If you get biffed, wear Biffwear. And if we get up to 20 subscribers, we'll begin to offer Biffwear again. Our merch.
Did we
Online
tell
storefront coming real soon now.
Did we tell them about Biffcoin?
Oh, that's right. We do really well. We're gonna have Biffcoin. our own.
Listen, I want in now for sure.
Get it
Ground
early
floor.
on that, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing's growing 17% every episode. Which is
Awesome.
one person.
As far as I know, I haven't subscribed to us, and I don't know if Kevin or Greg. I don't think any of us is.
I thought I did.
Oh,
I
maybe you
liked
did.
it on Facebook. I thought that was the same thing.
No.
I think I did. I
On
can do
YouTube.
that.
YouTube subscribers
Just
is what
me.
I'm talking about.
So 5 more subscribers tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there
Hey,
you go.
next time you're in Harvey County, that goes for all 5 and 4 of you. And next time you're in Harvey County, please look us up. Like we would love to go out for lunch or have coffee. It's been a while. So
We definitely should go to the Breadbasket and make pancake extensions with our little plates.
Yeah.
Mini plate. We should just get one plate and all eat off of it.
We should, for sure.
Hey, you change the system, but we're gonna beat it. We just want one plate. Watch this.
We'll get one drink.
Oh, gross.
And I apologize again for my marital advice in the car.
It worked out.
It worked out.
It did.
I don't know where that came from. So,
Well, thank you all for joining us again for another Yac-ity Yac podcast. Please like and subscribe. And you can also email us at yac-ity.yak.podcast@gmail.com.
we'll post that because that's really long.
Yes, it is
So-
really long.
so.
Bye.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye. Good to see you guys.
I can see you.